Hello? Yo, go chat. Hello? You guys hear me? See me? Hello? Hello, 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 hello. Christmas came early. Christmas came early to me. Came early. Where the fuck did they go? Okay. Am I scuffed again? Everyone keeps head popping. 92, bro. We need to just get away from the center of the city, I think. Did everyone head pop? What about Shira? Did Sugar pop? Where did we shouldn't have head pop now. Where did the head pop? Is everybody? Yeah, I think everybody's fucking suffering from it. Yeah. I really gotta change their name.
Hello?
Well, did you head pop with the car? Are you with the car?
No, I head popped and then decided that I wanted to recreate Stranger Things, so I had to wake back up again.
Okay, well, so where are you?
I'm running from the Alta apartments right now. I was just on the radio with Sophie, and she said that they were like close to Legion, but not super close. So now I'm just running, trying to find them.
Yeah, I'm gone again. Yeah, I'm head popped again. That's what everyone else head popped. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think they're doing quality of life stuff right now, which is kind of a stupid time to do it, but it's when they're around, so I guess it's whatever. But now 5M is like fucking full dead for me. I don't know why they would do it now, like prime time, but you know, whatever, I guess. Well, like, it doesn't make sense why the server's dying like that unless like there's something else happening. Could be the declaration. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense that something is just fucked everything right now. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. What do I fucking know about? What do I know about fucking server shit? So I could be wrong. It could be anything. Who knows? We'll spawn back at the house, I think. Or the warehouse and see if we pop again. Just wait here a minute. See if we pop.
Hey, gang shit.
Alright, I'm just gonna chill here and see if we fucking phase up again.
Yeah. Right, at least both my cars are here.
Oh.
What are you nomming on? Sounds soft, it sounds like a cake.
Nah, hoops.
Which ones?
Cheese and onion.
Beef? Oh. Yeah. I kind
Cheese
of like
and
only eat
hoops, I
beef.
think, are like an acquired taste.
I only eat beef, really. Just because, like,
They're the best
just,
ones.
you know.
Easily.
I normally
Easily
just
the
get
best
like
ones.
I normally just get like a the kind of like small 6-packs of like
Yeah.
just hula hoops. You get that. And normally I just get them, but I get just the beef ones. I don't get like the fucking variety pack.
Same.
Oh, did you have Space Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not a big fan of them,
I
but
miss them
yeah,
so
I know
much.
them.
I miss them so much. Right, because you used to have the two. I don't remember the other ones. You had pickled onion. You had another flavor. I don't remember that flavor, but that other flavor was the best. I think it was red, but I don't remember which one exactly. What they were called or what flavor.
There's a prawn cocktail.
Pickled onion was. I don't remember.
Maybe.
Pickled onion is the green one. That's the
Yeah.
green one. Pickled onion. Let me Google. Yeah, so you had beef ones, which was the red one, which are the ones I like. Then you had spicy, which were orange. And then you had saucy barbecue, which were purple. And then you had the green ones, which were pickled on. Bro, the fact that they've gone from fucking like being like 15p to £1.25 for a packet of fucking Space Raiders. Insane.
What do you want?
I think it might just be that like center area. Fuck, it sucks, dude, because I want to play this, but
Yeah, mate.
what's for you?
Me. 410.5.
Alright, Maggie.
Maggie's going bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's shitty.
Luke,
What's happening, mate?
what do you need for maze? I know the thermite and then thermal. No wait, thermal fuses,
Right.
right?
Right. 6 p.m. white cards for the first 2 doors.
Right.
Right. Well, you'll need an RC car first. Right. And then from there, you'll need 6 p.m. white cards. And then you'll need a crowbar. And then you'll need thermal fuses. You don't need anything for the chop pack. You need thermal fuses to turn the laser off to then go upstairs. Then you need the laptop to then open up all of the gates. And then
And I
from
get
there
that from the
you'll
computer
need
drone app, right?
yeah, and then you'll need
Okay.
RFID. No, you'll need fingerprint devices,
How many?
or fingerprint scanners, whatever they're called. Depends. Like you could have 2 if you one shot it. Like you'd only need 2 if you one shot it. But
I will
if
call
you
you
don't
right back,
one shot
my
it, then you know you need twice as many
Luke,
fingerprint
sorry,
devices.
1 second. Maggie's calling me. One second. I'm so sorry. Look. Okay. Wait. You said what, Maggie? Oh.
I'm actually gonna bow to
Are you-
looking really leafy.
Are you okay? Wait. Why?
What?
Thank you.
Come around tomorrow.
Yes, I should be. Same time roughly.
See you tomorrow then. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Have a good night, share good shit.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. So thermal fuses
Right.
and
You
the
need twice as many
fingerprint
you need twice as many fingerprint devices as you do thermite.
thermal fuses or thermite.
Yeah, that. You need twice as many.
Okay. Twice as many. What would you say is a good amount?
It depends who's on. So it depends who's on
If-
it. If you've got, because it all depends on what you're doing. If you put me on laptop, I don't think any of you know how to do thermite too well. If you do, it's not where you can get it near enough every single time. To the point where like you'll need a decent amount. You'll need the same amount as whatever you gave Tally. Fucking ridiculous amounts.
Okay.
But then if you then give it me, it will then all depend on what everyone else will get.
So let's say you're running this with Alma and Hayden and Marty, and then Sophie.
15.
15. Okay, I'll try and get that. If I get you everything that you need from Maze Bank, can we prioritize that? Because if we're able to exchange this gold, I would feel a lot better instead of continuing to go to my friends. I mean, we're just shy of $1 million in gold bars right now.
Yeah, we just need to do cash exchanges, get PMY.
Okay.
We've only got 3.
Yeah, I did see that. I'll make sure that happens once I get back. I'm gone for 2 more days, and then I should be freed up a lot more.
Alright, we'll get 6 by the time you get back.
Oh, thank you.
I get people doing cash exchanges tomorrow.
That'd be nice. I hear we might be having a conflict with the Raiders.
Yeah, they're gonna get packed.
I think we're a
up,
little
bro.
low on mags.
Yeah, we've already got an order coming on. That
Okay.
and bullets as well.
Do you know how much?
Like 18 max.
Okay.
So I need to check exactly. So all of the ARs in there, I just assumed had mags in them. I'm not saying that they do. I was saying for just the sake of easiness, just assume they've all got mags in them, right? And then you want 2 spare mags for every single gun that's in there, meaning the current mags that we have in there that I refilled earlier. The current mags that are in there, we'd need an extra 14 so that we could have 2 mags for every single gun, assuming every gun had a mag in it. I then need to pick up every single gun and open them all up to see which ones had mags and which ones didn't, and then from there we'd then add that onto the total.
Hey,
Meaning we
Ginger.
could then order whatever, 19, 20. Sean just said, do you want to just get like 14 and then just say 4 of them, like possibly 4 of them don't have mags in them, so just say we'll get 18. And I said, yeah, fuck it. And they said they're going to order 500 bullets, which ended up being, at the end, was like 240k. I don't know whether they actually put the order in, but it's about 240k for like 18 mags and then the 500 bullets of whatever it was.
Alright, that's up to me.
It might be more bullets. I think it was like 509 mil and then like a fuckload of fucking 308 as well.
How do you feel about the current stock of guns that we have? I think we have like still 7 or 8 build pups, 4 sweepers. The tacticals I think are about to die.
Yeah, so we've got 2 tacticals that are about to die, and we've got 2 tacticals in there that that are gonna die. So I have a spreadsheet that I still need to fill out. I have a spreadsheet which is gonna have like full like armory stock of everything that we have, and I will fill it out every single day. I wake up and check the armory, and like adjust it accordingly, same as mags and bullets, etc., etc. I still need to fill it out and shit because I literally just rushed it earlier because we was gonna go and do a Paleos to the point where I didn't fill it.
I'm just getting a broad stroke idea of what kind of we're dealing with if we're going into a conflict.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, I'd ask for like a whole more set of guns and then mags and bullets like on top of it. Like I'd want like at least another 6 good ARs, like another 6 bullpups or another 6 tacs, whatever. And then
What if I got
want,
heavy rifles?
And then I'd want them. I mean, yeah, exactly, fine. That's fine. So I'd get like another 6 heavy rifles, right? And then I'd get the 18 mags for it, and then it would be the 540 bullets to fill it, and then the other 540 bullets again to refill them, all of the mags again. So it would be 1.1k 308 ammo, 18 mags, and 6 heavy rifles, which would end up being, if I do my calculations, that's about 150, 250, and then it would be that's about 560k.
Which isn't bad. Okay. Considering that we have $1 million gold bars and we're sitting on $1 million right now.
Exactly.
I mean,
So I'd say if we was 100% gonna go into conflict, I'd say we buy that if we are 100% going into conflict. If we're not 100%, we have guns that are going bad because we're just not losing guns fast enough to the point that we're getting, or like whatever. If we're gonna go into a conflict, or we're even 80% sure we're gonna go into a conflict, I'd say spend the extra 540k so we got 3 fights in us at least.
Okay.
I'm just wondering why.
I think we're good car-wise.
100%. Yeah, I mean, my car you can't get shot in the back of. I mean,
we still have the Jester.
we still got the Jester. which only has one VAF, right? Or no VAFs, whatever. And
No
then
VAFs.
we've got Sophie's D10 now as well, which is like good as well, like really good in war. Plus, I mean, we've got fucking so many cars now. We've got Seamus's Feltzer as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid using personal cars, so I'm just trying to keep a head count of what we can use for conflict. But yeah. All right, cool. I'll try and work towards making things more liquid so we can buy another round of guns.
Why?
Oh,
Ideally.
good. Yeah.
There's so many guns.
I mean that's like ideally what I do. Obviously, I mean it's like that's what I'd do if I was in the position to do it. I'd do that. Obviously,
we're talking about a war with the Raiders.
I haven't been told to yet,
It's not going to be the same kind of war as anyone else.
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents. That's me putting my brain into it.
I'm just trying to be proactive. Cool. Thank you.
All good.
Hello? I'm alone the door. Yeah, I mean it's just where the structure is gonna fit in.
Everyone go bed.
I think most people did, yeah. It's fucking people fall asleep everywhere, so.
Yeah, just fair. I'm only about just to see what people are doing. I'm planning on doing. If people are planning on staying away.
Do I start the talks tomorrow or do I do one now? That is the question. Do one now. Could do Luke now. I mean, he's right here. Luke is itching for it. I can tell he's itching for it. Because he's itching to be the first one as well. I mean, if we're not gonna fucking, I haven't fallen asleep yet. We can go have a chat. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. We having it in there?
Yeah. If I can open the fucking door. Alright. Alright. Take your mask off. One. Give me a second. May as well do this now. Get one out of the way.
Oh, I'm putting my hat back on. I'm ugly.
Right. Oh fuck. Well, that this is one of those, or the conversation I was talking about. So what I have and what I've worked on over the past week isn't set in stone. It's not fully fleshed out. However, it's to give you a idea of what you are accepting. Right? So everything I read out to you, whether it be the rules or the structure, I mean, you know the image, right?
Yep.
So once accepted, you know, if you accept the bike in the correct color, whatever it may be, it probably a Cucho or a double T or something, some sort of sports bike. Well, is the club vehicle, right?
Yep.
Right. So I'm going to read out. I'll make all these rules available to everybody when they're like I go through the spelling mistakes and everything, right? But I'm going to read through all of these one by one. We'll talk about them. I'll get your input on them. And this is why I didn't want to do it in front of everybody, is because people's voices can get lost and people's point of views can get talked over by others. So me doing this one by one, and I take your thoughts and your opinions individually, and then I will apply it or not apply it after the fact, right? So if you have a point that maybe 4 or 5 other people also have the same point, or something they want to include, and I can include it, right?
Yep.
It's not like somebody brings up, like I say something, someone brings up something random, and then a few people kind of yeah, and then it gets put in, and then a month down the line, people are like, oh, I didn't vote for that, or you know, that kind of shit, right? So I get your unbiased and unfiltered opinion without anyone else listening to it, right?
Yep.
Right. So these aren't in any order, right? So one isn't most important and the last one isn't least important. It's just the way I put them in. Okay,
Yep.
sound good?
Yep. Perfect.
Right, first one. Respect roles and chain of command. Respect your club members and their positions / roles they hold. All members of the Hounds wear the same patch and they have earned it. Blatant disrespect to members can and will be looked at as blatant disrespect to the patch and will be dealt with appropriately. You got an opinion on that, or how do you feel about that?
I think that's just very basic.
It is. You'd be surprised how much of this is going to be common sense. But the fact that it needs to be written down and said, it still needs to be done.
Yeah. I mean, that shit's very fucking basic, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you don't disrespect people. Obviously, I mean, you can laugh and joke with people, even people that are above you in your rank, etc., etc. But
yeah. Okay. Any issue with that?
no.
Okay. Not guilty. There's 2 reasons why you never plead not guilty, right? And I've understood, you know, over the past couple of weeks, people have pled guilty, and that's fine. There was no obligation to, you know, do otherwise, or whatever. But there's 2 reasons why you don't do it, and you will never do it. You're not guilty for the life that you chose to live, right? So if you choose to carry on the way that we'll go forward, you're not guilty for doing that. You do it because it's right. The other side of it is the more logical side of it. You never plead guilty because doing so gives the PD the opportunity to build a case by pattern and you admitting guilt to that crime. Worst case scenario, it could lead to multiple raids, it can lead to large scale cases, you going away, or the rest of the club going away for a very long time. Or worse. As someone who's lived through a RICO, you don't want that. So that's the bigger one of the biggest reasons for not ever pleading guilty. The moment you admit guilt is a massive problem. In a legal standpoint. So when it comes to accepting time, mainly just time, because they'd never change the fine anyway. But you have to bite the bullet and you accept the time for what it is. Try to get it down however else you can, but you don't ever plead guilty.
Yeah.
Is that understandable?
Yep.
No issues?
Nope. I pled not guilty before I mean, I was pleading not guilty before I even, like, joined ADMC. Well, quote unquote, joined ADMC, so.
Okay.
It's kind of something I already do anyway.
That's good. 3. Club business. Club business is not to be shared with anyone outside the club. Details, opinions, activities, decisions, and so on will never be shared with anyone outside the club. Information to hang around is only to be shared when necessary or unavoidable. If you share information in this way, you are held responsible. Right? So in a dire situation that you see and you share information, you better have a good reason that can be backed up and that can be accepted by the rest. Other than that, if it comes back to myself or anybody that you've shared information or whatever, it's not good. Which is also common sense, but you'd be surprised. Be very surprised the amount of bullshit you deal with that. I can understand frustration from everybody, but when you're at the point where you're not sharing your frustrations with the rest of the club, then you really need to look at yourself internally. Any opinion on that?
Again, very straightforward. Yeah, it is what it is. Shit that goes on in the club is not for public knowledge. It's for the club and the club only to know what the club is doing, day-to-day operations of the club, and letting other people know, especially hang-arounds or anyone that gets to see it firsthand and also get that information. They can get let go very easily without a bullet in their head, and I mean that then puts us at a disadvantage to the city in different situations, different scenarios. People realize how weak we are, etc., etc. The ways to beat us in certain ways.
Number 4. This one I don't think you'll have any issue with, since you loadout checked Seamus and me. Your loadout. But the wording is important. You're required to have a sufficient loadout to be able to protect yourself, others, or to be able to respond at the request of another member, i.e., bank trucks and whatever. If you fail to have a loadout, you are a liability and will be treated as such. I will I'll go into detail about more of that when I write it out. But it can kind of give a fairly good idea of how someone who doesn't have a loadout should be treated. There's no excuse for not having the means to protect yourself or others. Once you can't do that, you might as well be fucking nobody.
Yep.
Minimums for your loadout. Desert Eagle is a minimum. Oxy, tourniquets, first aid kit or bandages, melee weapon of whatever, radio, armor plates minimum 2, lockpick, mags and ammo, repair kit minimum 2. I'd probably say or 1 advanced repair kit. An advanced repair kit would be much better than just 2 repair kits in reality. Any issues with that?
No, perfect.
Okay, good man. Protect the patch. You protect the patch and the integrity of the club with your life. Everyone that wears/represents the HMC is expected to protect every other member and asset within the club. Don't be a moron. Just because the other side of protecting everything you stand for and love is knowing when to let it roll off your back and make a calculated decision. So when somebody is chirping at you, saying this, that, and the other, and it is just words or bollocks or whatever, sometimes it's worth just not, just letting it roll off your back. Like the stuff with the Raiders, right, during the war, where they were just yapping on Twitter. At that point, it wasn't worth, entertaining. But sitting back, making a calculated decision, and then letting opportunities arise like today, it pays itself tenfold, right?
Yeah.
Knowing when and how to protect the patch is very important. It doesn't always mean jumping to conflict, guns, whatever. It's knowing when to do it as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, the group that we have the means and the ability to do shit very easily, like shit like that. We have the guns to throw away in situations like that, but it can very heavily impact the club if you decide to do something without thinking it over.
Yeah. I mean, stuff can disappear very quickly.
Exactly.
Okay. No issue with that?
No, not at all.
Okay. Club first. The club is your first priority over anything else. You give everything to the club so the club can get back to you. If you are doing something else with anything or anyone else, let a higher ranking member of the know. If you're not prepared to make that commitment, you will not be accepted or considered. So you're not told that you never can do anything else with anyone else, but the club needs to be aware so it doesn't get blindsided. However secretive it may be, somebody needs to know with the context that maybe it doesn't go beyond that person, but at least somebody can be like, yeah, he is doing something. He's told me about it. It's fine. That needs to be something you need to be able to accept and commit to, because there's no way this club gets blindsided by somebody going off doing something stupid, you know, whatever it may be, and then having to rescue you or rescue somebody else that's been kidnapped because you haven't told anyone. You're responsible in that regard. Something you can agree with and commit to?
100%.
Good stuff.
If you do something like that at the same time, you're also not protecting the patch. You're not there when the club needs you.
Perfect. Alright, this is the stuff that's new. Or at least one of the two. This thing is new anyway. Church votes. Or church in general, right? Major decisions that affect the direction of HMC, the members in the club, i.e. like hangarounds to prospect or patching, and votes of no confidence, all happen at church. Other votes like, you know, if the club was voting on getting into business with another group or getting into a certain business or style of business or whatever, that would go through a vote like that, right? And every patch member would get a vote. Church will have a consistent day with a set time in between. Don't know what that is, don't know what it's going to be, but it will have a consistent time. And then emergency churches can be called for situations for no confidence, or what they're going to be called as a Hound of Death vote, which you probably heard from, you might have heard before said about the Reaper vote. It's the same kind of thing.
I mean, I know kind of what the Reaper vote consisted of, in a way, of it would be a vote of kind of getting rid of someone. Other than that, that's all I know, really.
Essentially, yeah.
About the Reaper vote especially.
It's as severe as it gets. If one member was to shoot and kill another member, a Reaper vote would be called immediately, and the expectation that vote would pass. There is no exception. Right?
Yep.
A slight tab off of that is if multiple churches need to happen before a vote could pass, then all effort is made to do so. If impossible for a member to make it to church, the vote will be obtained in any fashion, or any possible fashion, whether it be yay, nay, or abstain. So if somebody just can't make it over, you know, let's say like 3 churches are held inside 1 week to try and get a vote, and certain people can't, we do our best to get the vote regardless of what it is, so we can move on.
Yep.
Any issues with how the church vote is going to work? It'll be a little bit more fleshed out than that, but that's like the you know, the bones of it.
Makes sense.
There's a little bit more in depth in the voting when I go further down here, but for now that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more just like fucking. It gives you the ability for everybody to have their opinions and their say on certain things and the way how the club will do certain activities without just one person having such a say and saying this is what we're doing on a day and no one having any idea.
Yep. Right.
I mean, it's exactly what you pitched at the start, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm not going to go back on anything that I said at the start. Everything that I said at the start is just going to be more fleshed out what I'm saying to you now. Don't know if this will ever apply to you, but romantic relationships. Romantic relationships are forbidden between members if one outranks the other. Exception being if they're in the relationship before entering the club. All exceptions will be made at the president's discretion. Just because I will be the president at the start doesn't mean it won't, you know, whatever president takes over from me at another point, it'll still be at their discretion. Okay, it's a little bit more open to it. You know, every situation has its context and every situation is different. If one member sleeps with another one, there will be a fine issued. That's another thing. It's not written down just yet. A lot of these punishments, a lot of smaller scales punishments, will have monetary value assigned to them, whether it be punishments or non-monetary, which should be something else. You need to put that in there. Okay.
Okay. So who can I date?
What was that? Who can you date?
So who can I date? There's not in the club, obviously.
Someone of your own fucking rank, mate. That's who you can. Another patch member. Don't fuck or hang around, or there are gonna be real issues.
Right. So say we're dating someone that's in the same rank, right? And then such a person gets promoted. That's fine, yeah.
That is fine, but you two are.
Right, chilling.
You two are both personally responsible for any bullshit that happens. If you two. If one gets promoted and then a whole bunch of shit happens, if you break up or anything like that, that is on you too, and you really need to weigh in the consequences of even starting it in the first place if that something like that can happen. Because the club will have no.
I mean, it's not gonna happen anyway, but yeah.
I know, but like it's the same thing I'll say to everybody. The club will have a no tolerance on that shit getting out of hand. Someone will get axed because of it, and both of you need to be aware of that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Club image and vehicle is fairly small at the moment. It's just you already know what the image is, but all members are required to own a sports bike in the club colors and maintain the vehicle in a proper condition, ready to go at a moment's notice. I'll make up a list, but it is basically just the sports bikes. In most of these are the ones that are acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saving up money anyway.
Good stuff. Yeah. I mean, like they're expensive enough. I know. I'll give people time for them. So. Guns. This is what I said to you earlier, and I will reiterate it just for the sake of it, because I know it is funny to have, you know, haha and, you know, laugh around with people, but a big thing with guns is you don't ever point a gun at someone if you don't have the intent to use it, regardless of who it is, right? So the moment you point a gun at a club member, I'm going to look at that as you have intent to use it. Right, so if I see you messing around, if I don't know the context and I catch you pulling a gun on someone, I'm going to pull a gun on you and shoot you, because the way I observe that, your intent is you're going to kill someone. You're either one, you're going to kill them on purpose, or two, you're so negligent that you might pull the trigger and shoot them in the head and be responsible for killing a club member. Two things I won't tolerate. Ever.
Yep, I feel it.
So I'll read the rule like I did earlier. A gun is never to be used as a tool to educate another member, regardless of who it is, hang around, whatever. Never to be used. Nor will using a gun on a member in any circumstance be tolerated, and a hound of death vote will be called with the expectation of the vote being passed. Which is basically saying it is a formality. Yep. If a member raises and points a weapon at another member, it will be taken with no tolerance. Essentially, that doesn't mean you'll have that vote called on you immediately, but it will be look at absolute no tolerance. You better have a good fucking reason as to why you did it, or a damn good apology, or something to atone yourself from it. Any issue with that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, as I said earlier, man, like it's
And a lot of this is common sense.
it won't happen.
Okay. Hound of Death. This is number 11. This kind of gives a little bit of an idea of what it is, right? So those who commit themselves to the HMC accept the result of a Hound of Death vote. By accepting this, you are considered a part of the club, and then held to its rules and standards. By breaking the rules consistently, by falling below the acceptable standard of the club consistently, or breaking major rules, can lead to a Hound of Death vote. And if it passes, you'll meet your fate at the hand of a Hound of Death, right? Essentially, you consistently break the rules and show no sign of improving or trying to rectify it. Same with the standards, or you break major rules. There is no escaping that. You accept that?
Yep.
Okay. Number 12. Baffle. Fuck around and find out. You're expected to keep your personal life separate from the club and under control. If you fail to do so, and the club is affected and or needs to get involved, the club will take action against the issue, whether it is internal, external, or both. This will be voted on at church unless the president deems extraordinary action needs to be taken. It's kind of broad, but you get an idea of what that means.
Yeah.
Any issues with that?
No. Deserved, mate. Deserved.
Okay. Last one. And this kind of goes into the details of how voting is going to work. And now this is still subject to change a little bit because there's something I want to change maybe. But I'll address it in a moment. So only patch members are entitled to vote. After this conversation, that will, if you accept, that would be you. Right? There are three different acceptable voting majorities. Majority, which is 50%, or over 50%. Overwhelming majority, which is over 75. Unanimous, which is 100. Right? Majority.
Yep.
That'll be often used for people's progression throughout the club. Like, you know, someone being elected into a role, into a command position, whatever the fuck, right? Or in instances of retaliation where it can be done, not saying every time, but against like a group or a specific person or the PD, a vote will happen. But that's not to say if, you know, war needs to happen within the next like 20 minutes that we're going to wait for a fucking vote to do it. You know, that's kind of like the extraordinary action, right? That'll just I can't really explain it better than that. Yeah,
it's like situational.
It's situational. Yeah, it's situational. But when we can, we will vote. When we can't, we will go ahead and fucking clap them. Overwhelming majority. For now, this is only used for no confidence, right? Do you know what a no confidence vote is?
When you believe someone isn't fit for a certain role.
Yeah. You know who you can call no confidence vote on?
You, big boss man.
Everyone. Anyone in a rolled position, command position, high command position, me, you can call a vote of no confidence. But by doing so, you better have a good reason and you better have the votes to back it up. The votes to back it up is an overwhelming majority. So if there's 20 people in this club, you need 16 votes.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, good.
And that's like active members, right?
That's active, yeah.
Shouldn't be like, say there's 20 members in the club, but there's 10 members active, then it needs to be 8 votes.
I'm going to write something in to where what activity basically means, or, you know, basically somebody needs the context of what's been going on to vote. If someone doesn't have the context to vote, then they shouldn't be voting at all.
Yeah.
That one's going to be iffy, but we'll see. Unanimous voting for now is patching and Hound of Death. Now that may change depending. I may get rid of unanimous depending on how, you know, if I'm future proofing the club going forward and it getting big. Everything may just stop at not unanimous, overwhelming majority, and I might change overwhelming majority from 75 to 80. But that's, for right now, unanimous is patching and Hand of Death.
Yeah, I mean, the smaller the group is, the easier it is to get.
Yeah.
100%.
But if it starts to grow, which we
the
have
bigger
four,
it is.
we have 4 people already looking, sniffing around. I'm
Yeah.
future proofing as best I can. So that may
Yeah,
change,
naturally.
but it's going to be one or the other.
Yeah.
Any issue with either one of those?
No. I'd say obviously for right now it would be 100, and then obviously, like, the more we grow, when we get like, I say personally above like 10 people, you change it to probably around 80% to see. Just see how that goes.
Perfect.
But at the same time, sorry, it'd also be very situational, because if you move it to 80%, and let's say there's 10 people in the club, and the 2 people that are saying no have like incredibly valid reasons for why they're saying no,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then it's like, it's taken into account a little bit.
Yeah, very situational. Okay, last 3 points of this this rule, and then that's pretty much it in terms of rules, or rules even. The president may take extraordinary action to protect the club and its integrity, but can be held responsible. So, if I deem an action need to be taken without without a vote, I better have a good reason to do so. If I don't, that's where the no confidence votes comes in. That's your guys' power to take issue with that. All good with that bit?
Yep.
Okay. No action on past votes. So no matter how you have voted, if you voted against something and everyone else has voted for it, there is no taking action the opposite way. You stand with the club, regardless of your opinion on it. If you think it's the wrong vote, you give your 100% to the way the club has voted. You can voice your opinion, you can whatever, and it may change down the line. You never take an action that has been voted the other way. Ever. Unless the club decides to do so. Any issue with that?
Nah, that's perfect.
Okay. Last bit. And this is the this would be interested. Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot anyone can really argue about it. So every role besides 2 is voted on by the club, and I'll go through them quickly in a moment.
Okay.
So the only 2 that are not, the only roles that are not decided by the club, by the club vote, is the vice president and the SAA. These are handpicked by the president. Okay. Now, I want to preface this for you in particular because I know SAA is something that you've had your eye on, right? Now, there's a slightly different role that I'm creating, not to essentially accommodate that, but because of what SAA is, essentially it's not going to do what ADMC's SAA did, or traditional SAAs have done, which is like, you know, you manage the armory, you this, that, and the other, right? You're not going to be a glorified quartermaster as the other thing I'm gonna go into, but it's the SAA is going to be high command, and it's basically the way it's going to work is you have the president sitting at this table, and you have the SAA on his or her right hand, and you have the VP on the left hand, right, where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Basically extensions of the president. The VP mainly does man management, the pulse of the club, you know, the kind of that side of things, where the SAA is a little bit closer to the president in that regard of overseeing the role that I'm going to tell you about, and advising on what's best to do so while working with the other person, right? So it's basically what's the best word? Ward general, kind of, but it's hard to kind of like go into exact details of what it'll be, because I want to see what people will make of it.
Of what will be Silent Arms or this new role?
Both.
Oh,
Because
okay.
at the end of the day, like, I can only make something and give it kind of guidance. I can put someone into it and they'll make it their own. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I'll go into a little bit more detail of it, because I haven't gone into like very specific details of what this stuff is going to do, because I need to see what people are going to make of it. Right?
Okay.
Any issue with that? Any issue with the president picking VP and SAA?
At the end of the day, they're your people. Obviously, they're the people that you're going to be working with most. We're going to be working with them, but you're going to be first hand working with them and with like the most experience working with such people. We, as people of the club, will never 100% be able to vote on the perfect person for you. We'll just be able to vote on who we think is the perfect person for that role.
Yeah.
Not for that role and for you at the same time.
Yeah.
Only you have the ability to do that.
Well, here's the thing. So I can appoint, and I will appoint a VP, and I will appoint an SAA. However, they, like I said in the rules beforehand, they are still held to your guys' standard. So a vote of no confidence can still be called on either one of those two. And if it passes, then I am forced to pick a new one. That's the way that will work. So just because they are being picked by me doesn't mean they're cemented in there forever.
Yeah.
No
and
confidence can
that'd be
still
the
be
same
called
as
on.
that'd be the same as if he was no longer president, right? They would no longer be VP and Sergeant,
Yes, once
Sergeant
yeah.
at Arms, because
They would be
whoever
removed as well.
would then take over, whoever would then take over would then pick their
Yeah,
Sergeant at Arms
they
VP.
could, like, the new president could be like, yeah, I'll keep you two. You guys did a pretty good job. Or they'll be like, nope,
Yeah.
going fresh.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, it keeps a lot of fluidity. It does not, at the end of the day, it does not, and what I told everybody, it does not lock my power in forever. I'm building this for it to be sustainable going into the future. Would I like to be at the head of this table for a long time? Yeah, of course. Do I expect to be? No. But that's my point. I will do whatever the club needs. If I'm the best leader for it, then I am the best leader for it. If I'm not, then I'm not. Right, so I'll briefly go into the specifics of what I was talking about. So you have the SAA, and what the SAA is going to work with is a role called the watchdog. Right? And the way the structure is going to work is you have the leader, which is the president, which will be myself. You have the right and left hand, which will be the high command, which is the VP and the SAA. You have the command, for now, which is the road captain and the tail gunner. They're mainly going to be looked at kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum, where your road captain is leading your day-to-day man management, you know, dealing, like, keeping stuff going, keeping stuff accountable, all that kind of crap, right? And tail gunner is a little bit the same thing, picking up the slack, but then is focusing on the newer people coming in, hang-arounds, prospects, or people just generally being left behind, right? Those are.
Did you say that would be command, or am I
That's command.
completely stupid? Okay,
Yeah, those
so
two.
them two roles.
Those two are command. Yeah.
Yep.
Your watchdog, your enforcer, and your chaplain. TBD, I've called it officer for now. Is basically the step between patch and command. Right, and there's a reason why I've done this, and it's future proofing as well, because obviously there's only, you know, if everybody accepts, there's 8 people, right? But
Yeah.
the problem beforehand with clubs that, you know, I've been a part of is the non-future proofing, the building for what you have over the building of what you could be. So instead of having, you know, 2 high command and then 5 command, I'm going to have 2 high command, 2 command, and then 3 in between, to where patch members will have a step to go through and then going up, right? It takes the weight off of people, and it gives people time to focus on what they want to focus on instead of getting overwhelmed or avoiding shit or whatever, right?
Yep.
Holy fuck, I'm gonna lose my voice doing this. Okay, so Watchdog. This is the one that's going to work with SAA, right? And those two are mainly going to work off each other and bounce off each other. And essentially it's a little bit what you've been doing up to this point, right? And I don't want it to make like what a quartermaster was before, where you just focus on literally just stocking stuff and then that's it. I don't
even know what a fucking quartermaster was, to be honest.
A quartermaster basically was, for lack of better wording, just a fucking inventory bitch. Like, just got like,
Okay, yeah.
but like made sure that everything was equipped and everything, but like didn't do much other than that, right? And that kind of came down to whoever was doing it. I look at you in all honesty, right? I don't know you too well, right? And this is going to be, I'll be completely honest with you, right? In a traditional SAA role, I could probably see it, but the way I'm envisioning SAA and how it's going to be, it is a very high up role, right? And it is a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of not just making the call to go to war or whatever, but it's going to be controlling a very large direction of what we do, right? And what I want to see from you is something, I guess, a stepping stone into that, right? I don't know who, I genuinely don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know who's going to fulfill that role. However, when I look at that, stepping stone, where the Watchdog, it is, yes, it's making sure what you've been doing, the inventory, guns, knowing what to buy, when to buy it, who to buy it from, who's kind of, what the relationships are like, who's going to war, why they're going to war, if there's any tensions between us and them or us and whoever, and then kind of working with the SAA then filters it to me and so on. It's that kind of thing, right? It's like, I don't know how to better describe it, really. It's, I can only have so much of an image in my head until someone starts doing it, right?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But I will say, all these roles, I still want to take it somewhat slow. I want to get everybody in and happy what the club is going to be on a baseline, right? The roles and stuff and what they will do can all be tweaked, right? Because they will be tweaked when people step into them. That's fine. Like, this is, if anything is definitely not set in stone and the way it's going to be, it's the roles. The rules are a little bit more solid. Like, they're very common sense, very much what they're going to be. Where the roles in command, a little bit more fluid. Because when people step into them, they'll make them their own. Like like yourself or anybody else who has aspirations to do it.
Yeah.
So I guess,
I mean, yeah, it all depends on like certain roles at the same time, right? Just say hypothetically, right? You fucking, I don't know, you put Billy Bob as Sergeant at Arms, and then you put me as Watchdog. There's a chance that Billy Bob, who's in Sergeant at Arms, might need the Watchdog to do something a tiny bit in his role that will help him out more, whereas some other Sergeant at Arms might just want to do everything himself and just have the Watchdog kind of do his thing. So like certain roles will depend on how the people they're supposed to be helping will do their job, and then they'll mold themselves around that person.
Exactly that. Because I once I work it out, I'll have an idea of what I want every role to do for me, and if I put if I put somebody in a role and let's say I put someone in SAA, right, and they start doing fucking everything. They start taking over absolutely every other role. That's not what I want. I need somebody who's in high command to oversee and give guidance and mentor those who are in the other roles and support them. I don't need somebody doing everything all the time perfectly, because one, they'll burn themselves out, two, they'll make the incorrect decisions and then they'll put them on themselves and it'll be a whole fucking shit show. My plan is to make everything as cohesive as possible. Everything is going to be fluid. If somebody is not meeting the expectations, regardless of who they are, whether it be VP, SAA, or all the way down, they'll be moved. They'll be taken out. They'll be given time to cool off, and someone else will be put into position. Especially the 2 roles that I will control. The rest of it will come down to club vote. So like when it comes down to like when we go through all this, and that club vote does come around, it's not just, at the end of the day, it's not just me that you have to convince. You're not going to be sat here waiting for me to come around and decide whether you're good enough. You have to convince everybody who's around every day that what you want to go for is what you want and what you deserve. So and that's where, you know, where the role comes into making it your own. And that, you know, when I go through, I'll make all my paper here, I'll give it to everybody, and so they can read through it, and maybe they could leave notes or what more a certain role could do, to give it a little bit more fleshed out things, so it can give a better idea for people who are going to vote on it. I think that's probably fair enough, because when you look at these command roles or the officer roles, if they're a little bit vague, then it can alter the voting, which is not great. They need to be a little bit more specific so people know what they're voting for.
Yeah.
So Luke, that's it. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details of too much of like what an enforcer's going to do and a chaplain's going to do. It's fairly self-explanatory what they're going to do. And I'll make this available so you can read it. What do you think?
About what specifically?
About it
'Cause I
all?
think about a lot of things.
About it all. Everything I've told, I mean, everything I've told you.
I mean, you said it from the start, right? You said it from the start that the thing you was gonna make, you planned on it being made to transcend you, instead of it being when, you know, when the leader's no longer the leader, the club will disband, or the club will just turn to shit because they followed one person and one person only.
Mm-hmm.
The way how you've kind of put things together in writing and rules will obviously, it's written down as such for such a thing to happen, for you to, fuck knows what happens if you step down, if you unfortunately end up passing away, which you know, touch wood, that doesn't happen, but yeah, I mean, you've done it to the point where that it does transcend past you, which is exactly what you said that you wanted it to do. Then you've got your voting things, which again is exactly what you said it would be. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be like high command only votes too often. Obviously, yeah, I didn't hear you say that like at all. That it would be high command only votes sometimes, which I assumed obviously would never happen. Which is perfect, because then it gives everyone all the information all at once, so everyone can form their own opinions and it can be brought out to light, instead of just 3 high command members that have worked together for the past year and they know each other inside out to the point where they all think the same. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna elaborate. You've done exactly what you said you would.
I promised you guys that that's what I would do. So, next question, and last question. Knowing what I've said, obviously the rules are somewhat set in stone, however, to be fleshed out. The roles and everything are definitely to be fleshed out, and oh, there's cargo. Are a lot more fluid. Do you think you could commit to being a part of the Hounds MC?
See, Sean,
This is where he gets up and shoots me.
I started this with the image and the thought of attempting to get back on Finn for what he did. And I had the envision and the thought of, you know, depending on how situations went and how I personally was treated, and if I was able to just be myself. In ADMC, I didn't feel like I was able to be myself. I had to be somebody else to be liked by certain people. And after the war especially, and even during the war, I was able to just fully be myself. And if people have a problem with it, they haven't mentioned it, so I'd like to assume they don't. I am 100% in on this now. For me, there's no going back. There's only one place and one place only I want to be, and that's it.
W. Good shit. That's what I like to hear. Well, barring some ceremonial bullshit that I'll probably think of at some point, you are, if you want it, like you just said, well, I mean, you just said it, but you are welcomed in as a member of the HMC. And yeah, I'm happy to have you, and hopefully I can get the rest of everybody else, and we can really build something that should have been made in the first place, and really set our mark on the city.
We've got the group of people to do it.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Considering how well we've done over the past month, even the 2 weeks outside of the war. Yeah, I'm very proud of everybody.
Yeah, people are doing exactly. People are having a lot of fun. I feel like a lot of the time, people sometimes when they're in a group, they feel stressed. They feel like they have to do certain things, otherwise, people are going to look at them in a certain way. People are going to feel like they need to start pulling their weight, otherwise they won't get prospected. They won't get patched. They, you know,
That was a lot of
won't
talking.
get looked on very fondly. Whereas I feel like recently, no matter what, people have just been doing whatever they want to do, and they've been. Some people haven't been doing anything, like really, but at the same time, them doing nothing, they've been doing other things behind the scenes, and everyone's been pulling their weight, doing different fucking shit. I feel like every single day I wake up and someone's got a new fucking $600,000 car, or they've got a new fucking engine, or something stupid.
Well,
the amount of money we've made in the last, when did we end the war? 2 weeks ago, something like that.
yeah.
The amount of money that like we've made as a collective, individuals, and like as the group is
It's mad.
astra fucking nomical, man. Like, I don't know, the amount of new $1 million cars that we just see like pulling up outside the house or outside right now is stupid.
It's
And that shit won't stop, man. That shit won't stop.
I think a big thing that everybody has done, regardless of people's skill or anything like that, it's making them feel comfortable to be able to do anything. Doesn't matter if we lose shit. Anybody with a gun can shoot someone down. So when it comes to doing anything, whether it comes to doing a bank or countering a bank truck or going to do a bank truck or whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have a six that you trust, you can go do it and try it. And if you fail it, then fuck it, who cares? You went and enjoyed yourself. You went and you gave it what you plan to give it in the first place. Once they feel comfortable doing that, they'll enjoy doing it every time. There won't be this pressure to do it.
Exactly. I mean, people get very nervous about doing certain things because people like doing things very simply. They don't like, sometimes people don't like working very hard to do things. Like, not to throw shade at ADMC, but when in the time I was in ADMC, we countered fucking nothing. We literally didn't counter a single thing. The amount of jewelry stores, everything that we did, we didn't get countered. The only time we ever got into shootouts in ADMC was by shooting cops, and that was it. We never did anything else. Within a day of being here, we decided that we were going to go and counter a fucking bank truck that we thought Besties was at. And we didn't even just turn around and just say, fuck it, I mean, they can have it. We decided to just full fucking send it and get it anyway. Unfortunately, It was a scuff bank truck, but we still went for it anyway.
Yep.
Just having the balls to do whatever we feel like doing. Feels great, man. Feels great.
Well, I will. I'll have something a little bit more official. Not that this isn't official. You are now a member. But after I have all the talks to everybody, which will be over the next 2 days, 3 days, whatever, over the weekend, I will have something official for everybody planned, and we'll get this show on the road properly.
Okay. I think you're talking my language.
Alright. Right, you're good to go. Whatever you're gonna go do. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you committing to everything.
Hey, anytime, man. Anytime. Want me to smoke anyone? Let me know.
Yeah, I know.
Hey. Raiders next, man. Raiders next.
Oh.
Sorry. Just gotta put my fucking goggle.
Hey, good first chat. Fuck, man, yeah, it's real now. It's very real now. Hounds MC now is officially 2 members.
I'm also going to bed, by the way, so yeah.
Six to go. You want to talk to next? Well, there's going to be no more talks tonight. That is it for tonight. We are done streaming for tonight, chat. I will be back tomorrow. I appreciate you all watching, chilling. Been a good day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bright and early. Big RP day.